Welcome to this complete masterclass on anterior shoulder instability. Over the next few minutes, we will build a structured framework covering glenoid bone loss, the critical decision between Bankart and Latarjet procedures, and the on-track, off-track concept. Anterior shoulder instability is defined as a traumatic anterior glenohumeral dislocation or subluxation that compromises both the static and dynamic stabilizers. It is the most common major joint dislocation, with anterior directions accounting for 95% of cases and peak incidence between 15 and 25 years of age. The essential lesions to recognize are the Bankart labral tear and the Hill-Sachs compression fracture, and age under 20 carries a 67% recurrence rate. The amount of glenoid bone loss directly dictates surgical management. Bone loss under 15% is suitable for an arthroscopic Bankart repair, whereas 15 to 25% falls into a gray zone where a Latarjet or augmented Bankart may be considered. Once bone loss exceeds 25%, a Latarjet or formal bone graft becomes mandatory. Understanding the anatomy of failure requires recognition of several key soft tissue and bony lesions. The classic Bankart tear, an anteroinferior labral tear with inferior glenohumeral ligament avulsion, is present in over 90% of cases, while a bony Bankart involves an actual glenoid rim fracture and carries a higher recurrence risk. You must also watch for medially displaced ALPSA lesions, easily missed Hague lesions, and stable glad tears, alongside the posterolateral Hill-Sachs compression fracture seen in up to 70% of patients. The bone mnemonic helps guide the decision between a soft tissue Bankart repair and a Latarjet procedure. B stands for bone loss greater than 25%, which absolutely requires a Latarjet, while O reminds you to look for an off-track or engaging Hill-Sachs lesion. N highlights that multiple recurrent dislocations favor a Latarjet, and E accounts for extreme sports, as contact or competitive athletes demand stronger stabilization. The Instability Severity Index score, known as ISIS, quantifies recurrence risk to guide surgical planning. A low score from 0 to 3 suits an arthroscopic Bankart repair, whereas moderate scores from 4 to 6 require shared decision-making based on sport and bone loss. A high score greater than 6 carries an over 70% recurrence rate with Bankart repair alone, so a Latarjet procedure should be considered. The ISIS score is built from 6 objective clinical and radiographic parameters. 2 points each are assigned for age under 20, a Hill-Sachs lesion on an AP radiograph, loss of glenoid contour on an AP radiograph, and greater than 5 previous dislocations. A final 2 points can be added for competitive or contact sport participation and shoulder hyperlaxity. Imaging progresses from standard radiographs through to advanced three-dimensional reconstruction. A true AP, axillary lateral and scapular Y form the baseline, with West Point and Stryker notch used profiling the bony Bankart and Hill-Sachs lesions respectively. Three-dimensional CT remains the gold standard for quantifying bone loss using a best fit circle, while MRI or MRA is superior for evaluating labral pathology and the rotator cuff. The management algorithm begins with reduction, neurovascular assessment, and imaging to quantify the pathology. If bone loss is under 15% with an on-track lesion, an arthroscopic Bankart repair is indicated. For 15 to 25% loss with an off-track lesion, a Latarjet procedure is preferred and strongly favored for contact athletes or a high ISIS score, while any bone loss exceeding 25% requires a Latarjet or iliac crest bone graft. The BSC mnemonic explains why the Latarjet procedure works through a triple effect. B represents the bone block, as the transferred coracoid augments the deficient glenoid arc. S is the sling effect created by the conjoint tendon acting as a dynamic stabilizer, and C is the capsular repair, where the capsular repair tissue is repaired over the coracoid bone block. The recurrent statistics powerfully justify the surgical decision-making process. Patients under 20 treated conservatively face a 67% recurrence rate, while appropriately selected arthroscopic Bankart repairs still carry a 10 to 20% recurrence. In contrast, the Latarjet procedure reduces recurrence to between 0 and 5%, even in high-risk groups, which is critical given that contact athletes with significant bone loss face an 89% recurrence after Bankart repair. Consider an 18-year-old rugby player with a first-time anterior dislocation. Following reduction and axillary nerve assessment, you would obtain an RI for labral injury and the three-dimensional CT to quantify bone loss. Given the 67% recurrence risk at this age, minimal bone loss and an on-track Hill-Sachs support an early arthroscopic Bankart, whereas significant bone loss or an off-track lesion favors a Latarjet. Now consider a 24-year-old athlete with 5 dislocations, 22% glenoid bone loss, and an engaging Hill-Sachs lesion. An arthroscopic Bankart will inevitably fail here, so a Latarjet procedure is recommended to provide a bone block, a dynamic sling, and capsular repair. The combination of multiple dislocations, off-track pathology, and likely contact sport yields a high ISIS score, firmly supporting bony augmentation over soft tissue repair.